Hi everyone, it's Katie back with another edition of my vlog, and today is a very special day around here because today is my 20th wedding anniversary. So first of all, happy anniversary, Sean. I love you forever. I hope we have way more than another 20 years together. I wouldn't trade being married to you for anything in the world. And secondly, I want to use this special for our family occasion to answer a question and tell one of my favorite stories. And the question that I got is, how did you guys meet? So forgive me, it's my 20th wedding anniversary, but I'm going to get a little sentimental here and give you guys the story of how Sean and I met. So we're the same age. Sean grew up in Oakland and I grew up in Berkeley. We went to separate high schools, but we both got into doing zines when we were in high school. And we had a friend in common, a guy named Dave, who I went to high school with, who was really into zines also. And he liked Sean's zine and he liked my zine, and he put each of our zines in the other's hands, thus introducing us. But we didn't meet face to face at that time. I like to joke, it's kind of like the pre-internet version of meeting on the internet. We met through trading zines in the mail. So all the older folks in the audience are going to remember mail art and doing those types of mixtape trades or zine trades in the pre-internet days. So, 1991 or 1992, we were both in high school and we're trading zines through the mail. Now, we're both doing stick figure comics in our zines, and Sean put in his zine a review of my zine where he said I was copying him. So then I wrote a letter to the editor, to him, telling him, great minds think alike, but also telling him that he was just jealous and that in the future he was going to have my babies. Whoa. All right. Remember, at this point, we still haven't met in person at all. So we spent high school, again, trading zines and knowing about each other, but not ever having met face to face. So then flash forward several years, and the end of 1998, we're both going to CCAC. That's California College of Arts and Crafts, which is now known as California College of the Arts. It was my last semester there and Sean's first semester there, and we didn't have any classes together, but we saw each other a little bit on campus, and we both knew who the other one was, but we didn't quite connect until I was actually hanging around outside during a break in class with one of my classmates who happened to be one of Sean's oldest friends. And so Sean used that opportunity to come up and talk to the two of us and reintroduce himself, or introduce himself in person for the first time ever. And so then there was a couple of months there at the end of that fall semester at CCAC where we kind of were running into each other on campus, or, we participated in the same pumpkin carving contest, or, I saw funny notes that he had left on flyers or whatever, but we weren't really friends yet. Then my roommate, who was taking on making a student zine for the whole college, but she had never made a zine before, she knew that I had a lot of experience making zines and that Sean had a lot of experience making zines. And so she roped the two of us in together to basically do her project for her. Ugh, whatever, but turned out to be a good move on her part, because Sean and I then got together for a series of creative meetings, which I kept insisting weren't dates. Little did I know I was actually setting the beginning of our relationship backwards, because he was trying to make them into dates, but I was sitting there going, oh, it's a good thing we're not on a date right now. So there was a series of creative meetings in December and the beginning of January, which then led to a series of what I would call platonic sleepovers. I lived really close to the MacArthur BART station, and Sean would come over and hang out and stay so late that he would miss the last train home and be stuck at my house. Of course he was doing this on purpose, but I didn't realize it at the time. So he slept on our couch probably 4 times. And then after this had happened enough times, he came over and was hanging out again for another, friend evening hangout session. And my roommate, the same woman who had roped us into the zine project together, came, and we were actually sitting on the couch attempting to watch a movie, and she came and stood in between us and the TV so that we couldn't see the TV, and she put both hands on her hips and she said, if he doesn't sleep in your bed tonight, I'm kicking both of your asses. At which point we both kind of turned to each other and said, oh, is that what's going on here? And he slept in my bed that night. And very quickly in succession after that, I moved into his P.O. box. He moved into my bank account. Then he moved into my house. And on February 14th, we actually went to church at the request of Dave, again, the guy who introduced us way back when we were in high school. He was getting ready to go into seminary, actually, to become a priest. And he wanted, as a way of connecting us with what he was getting into, he really wanted us to come to his church with him. Go listen to a sermon or whatever. And so we said, okay, we'll go do that. And there was a guest, I was going to say lecturer, but I guess preacher, delivering the sermon that day at his church. And because it was Valentine's Day, he gave this sermon all about love and about the different kinds of love and what to do if you find someone you love. And I guess Sean found this very inspirational because that night he asked me to marry him. Now, if you're watching your timeline there, we've been officially dating for less than a month by the time he asked me to marry him. But when it's right, it's right. So, of course, I said yes. Neither one of our families had met the other one at all. And we were very young, 22 at the time. So we decided to have a year-long engagement so that our families could get used to the idea that we were going to get married and who we were going to get married to and meet each other and all of that stuff. So 1 year and a week after we got engaged, we got married up at the Brazil building in Tilden Park, up in the hills, up above Berkeley and Oakland. I have a picture, of course. There we are on our wedding day. Look at those babies. One of my favorite pictures. I also have a picture from earlier in that day, which includes Dave, who I've been talking about. There he is, right there. He actually performed our wedding. That photo was taken in my mom's backyard, actually when we were getting ready for the wedding up at the Brazil building. So that is the story of how we met, our engagement, and when we got married. The rest is history, as they say. It's been an amazing 20 years full of working on a crazy number of projects together. 3 kids, a dog, moving out of state, then moving again, then buying our house, turning our business from a passion project that never paid us anything at the beginning to a full-time job that could support not only us and our kids, but our employees as well. All of the amazing things that have happened in the last 20 years. And of course, the bad things too, obviously, in sickness and in health, the stroke to mention. But again, I wouldn't trade any of it for anything else ever. Sean, you are my favorite person. I love you so much. I hope we have so many more years together ahead of us. And I cannot wait to see what we do next. All right, I'm going to sign off there and actually go take my husband out on a date since it's our anniversary. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in a few days for the next edition of my vlog.